Hello? Microphone working. Music playing. I know I keep repeating myself with the microphone test, but you'd be surprised with how often the microphone just straight up doesn't work. I'll boot up stream and it's just webcam mic or nothing, or it's all craggly for no reason. Strange. Oh, speaking of which, goodbye webcam. Switch to this, then we're good, I think. Hi. My goodness. OBS, you're a mess. I checked it before. I checked it before I went live. I checked that everything was up. Webcam was active, all that. Not a problem. Apparently there was a problem. Cool. More time on dev today. Back to the Dave mines. What's the plan? Plan is finish the stubble. Then I need to go through and actually add holes. I guess there probably is a term for it, but I need to add holes for the leather around the hem. Then beyond that, I want to render the bone a little bit more. I've got to render the twigs in the hair. And then last step, I guess, is like background and stuff. It's a bit of a largely overarching step, but a step nonetheless. For some reason the mouth is also not my favorite. I don't know why. Feels like it's maybe a little bit too skewed to the right, maybe. That helps quite a bit, actually. Just adding a little bit more shadow to the left side of his face. Does wonderful things. Excellent. What a beautiful man. Try deepening the red at the base of the nose. That's the conclusion that I keep coming to, basically, is that the contrast and depth needs to be bolstered. See, just like adding a little bit more dark has just done wonderful things. What if I continue that trend? What if I were to do that? Hi, Ghoulie. Hi. Don't mind me, just molding his face like Play-Doh. I'm adding in little spots of extra contrast just to kind of try and make the face pop a little bit better. And it is working, but it is concerning that it is working so well. It means that I should be doing it more, and I'm potentially missing out on a few spots to do it here still. Yeah, even spots like that. There we go. How you going? Sorry, getting a little bit wrapped up in it. Don't mind me. As I was saying before, literally just a case of the face is looking a little bit too flat, so needing to add more depth to it. Best way of adding depth is contrast. I'm not too concerned with it looking too cartoony or anything like that. Fine with adding in like overly emphasized dark lines and that sort of thing. That's fine, as long as it looks natural, as long as it doesn't look like hyper, if that makes sense. So if I can avoid hyperness, we're good. I think we have. I wouldn't refer to this design as like hyper anything. Back to the stable. Back to the stable. It's an area that I know. It's safe. It reassures me. It's like a comforting hug. When when I don't know what I need to do next. Stubble. It needs to get done anyway. May as well do it now. Needing to zoom out and check that I'm not creating a pattern without knowing it. It's the one thing. It's the one thing I hate about any repetitive texture is trying to create true randomness. It's just not a thing. True randomness is just not a thing. I'll be doing cobblestones or pavements or bricks, like tortoise shell, scales, stubble, any sort of repetitive anything. I'm paranoid the whole time that I'm gonna make some sort of revelation partway through that, oh, I've made a little smiley face, or oh, it looks like it's done in rows, or oh, it doesn't look, you know, it looks quite ordered actually. There's no avoiding it completely. Like when you are trying to make a random pattern, there will be some semblance of recognizable something. But at that point in time, it's like cloud gazing, right? Where, oh, I can see a dog. It's like, yeah, you can see a dog in it, but you've had to like interpolate it in order to get to that point. It's not like it's obvious. You need to, well, I need to kind of get over avoiding pattern recognition completely, because there's no helping it. Humans are pattern recognition machines. I need to accept that, yes, they will find something. They'll find some semblance of a pattern in it, but that's fine, as long as it's not supremely obvious. Like, for example, I'm avoiding two things in particular with stubble placement. I'm avoiding your classic bricklaying pattern, where you always have the ones and the zeros misaligned, if that makes sense. I'm avoiding the bricklaying. I'm also avoiding row setting. I'm avoiding this because what can happen is it'll look like there's like So if you zoom out here, it looks like fuzz. That's what I want. If I were to lay down in rows, it would look like almost like a ripple across the scalp, and it would look awful. It would look absolutely awful. So avoiding those is my primary concerns. Beyond that, just like making sure that they're spaced, I guess, because hair follicles don't tend to like grow incredibly close to each other to an extent. Like, you're not going to have hair follicles like that, you know? But yeah, as you can see, I'm going out of my way to severely misalign things and cluster other bristles, just so that there's no sense of like, aha, it's this. The problem with all of this is that patterns, yes, are a thing that I need to avoid from the viewer's perspective, but at the same time, patterns make it so much freaking easier for me. If I know that it's a case of pattern placement and I just have to follow the shape of the scalp, oh boy, so much easier. Just autopilot, boom, 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 done. But it's not that easy. So, freak me, I guess. I mean, I can't argue with the results. I'm liking how textural it is. It's so, like, viscerally, like, you could imagine running your hand against the side of his scalp. Don't think about it too much. You can run your hand across the side of his scalp, and you can feel the bristles, like the prickliness under your palm. At least I can. So it means it's working. Glorious. It's working. Is this what it's like? So, I've always wondered what there's a franchise of, you've probably heard of it before. I think it's worldwide. There's a franchise of wax statue exhibits, museums, called Madame Tussauds. They create like celebrity lookalikes and stuff out of wax. Incredibly lifelike, and like that's the whole jam, right? Come to Madame Tussauds. You can have a look at the Australian Prime Minister as a wax statue. Huzzah! But more to the point. I've always wondered about how like labor intensive the process would be. I'd imagine that they would actually have to place. Surely Surely they don't just like chuck a wig on top. Because I believe the hair is like renowned for being super duper realistic, blah, blah, blah. I'd imagine it's the case that they actually have to like seed the hair and then give the wax statue a haircut. So I wonder if it's a similar process to this, where they're just going through and going blip, 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 having to make sure that they space out the strands. I could work at Madame Tussauds, is what I'm saying. Basically what I'm saying, yeah. I mean, I was just complaining that Dave looks kind of plasticine-y. So... it's a match. Ads in 1 minute. Thank you, Tavern. It keeps dawning on me just how soon the Switch 2 is coming out. I am legitimately freaking excited. Because I've spoken about it previously, but the new Mario Kart actually looks really fun. Whenever any of the previous Mario Karts have come out, I've gotten them, and they've been fun for a little bit. Like decent play hours in them, and they're always a good multiplayer option for the couch co-op and that sort of thing. However, there's been very little desire to play them by myself. There was an element of that with the DS version because of the missions and stuff that you could play. So it gave me something to do. But because I never play the online, there's just no sense of like challenge completion type of thing outside of just completing all the Grand Prix, which I haven't done in a very long time with the new Mario Kart. I haven't in a very long time gone through and like gotten max score on all of the Grand Prix and stuff. But now it's not even like the solo experience stuff. It's not even like, you can do missions in the open world, blah, blah, blah. It looks fun as well, I guess. But the main interest factor for me is the driving just looks more interesting. There are just like way more mechanics to interact with outside of just drifting. Drifting is fun, don't get me wrong, but it being like the only mechanic. Oh, welcome back. Whereas now, what do we got? We've got hops, so it means that you can interact with the environment. So like if a car's coming towards you on the highway, you can like hop onto it and do a trick off of it, which is fun. We've got rail grinds, which seem quite versatile because it seems really lenient as to what they count as a rail. So there are kind of railings everywhere on the map, which is cool. And then wall riding, like the most versatile thing of them all. It's like anything is a wall. Obviously. You've seen a wall, you know what they do. And then it looks like there are sub mechanics as well. I don't mean like submarine mechanics because they took that out of the game, but apparently, if you do a trick and then land and then do another trick in close succession, you get a boost, which means something like tricking off, like jumping onto a car, doing a trick off of it onto a rail, and then tricking off the rail. You're going to end up with it encourages like driving combos. Which is just, it's a whole new ball game. I've played fighting games before. I enjoy a combo or two. Driving combos. It looks mad fun. Not sponsored. I don't like the price, obviously. Worked around it by getting the bundle, but I'm unlikely to get any of the expensive games at full price moving forward. Like if they come out tomorrow and they're like, the new Zelda game is $100 billion, I would probably just be content with the Mario Karts for a while. Wait to get it secondhand or something, you know. Hey Dave, how you going, bud? How's your hair transplant feeling? Good? Not too much discomfort? Glad to hear it. Speaking of actionable challenges. I'm actually finding the placement process quite fun. It's almost meditative. Now that I've got a handle on how I'm placing them, it's just, I'm zen. To make sure that I'm not creating waves in the vertical either. It's not bad. It's not bad. The D&D session went really well on Tuesday, by the way. It was a lot of fun. I've mentioned it before in the past, but this character, Dave, was raised by goblins. And due to just how he is, I guess, he also thinks he's a goblin. And misinterprets other people as being goblins as well. Like, it's a whole shebang. The heck is that layer? Oh, I was just on the wrong layer. Okay. This has led to the party as a whole having an affinity for goblins, even though there's not a single goblin in the party, apart from Dave, obviously. So much so that we've come up with a pact, well, at least myself and another player, that if our characters were to die, they would come back as, like, we as players would come back as goblins. Headcanon for me is that at least one of them will be Dave's sibling, quote unquote, like adoptive sibling. This anticipation has led to some really funny circumstances. So anytime anything semi-deadly takes place, there's this air of it's happening that kind of floats. Like, is it time? Is this the moment? Is this where we have to introduce our goblin selves? And the session on Tuesday was filled with it. It was so funny. Because specifically Dave and this other party member have... on Tuesday were the ones who were involved in, like, the deadly traps. It was so good. So good. Very satisfying game. Like, don't get me wrong, we don't want our characters to perish, but there is this like hanging blood pact that kind of hovers in the back of our minds whenever anything happens. Back to the follicles. Back to the bristles. It would be called head stubble, right? I can't imagine it being called something else. I'd imagine so. Just a heads up, by the way, this one's going to be a shorter one, just because I do have commitments later in the day, and I need to accommodate for that. So it'll probably be about a half stream, so maybe another hour on top of what we've got at the moment. And hopefully by then, we will be mostly done. Not completely. I know the background's going to take me a while. Just I have a good sense of what I want to do for it, you know? Part of me wants to do the classic background. You know what? I can play with it now. Why not play with it now? Portrait. Background. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Who wins? Who wins, Bebop? The question is what color? Probably like a forest green, maybe. A morbid strat. Ever played COD Zombies? What? So you try and you try and bottleneck the the gorilla? Is that the plan? You elect the weakest member of as the monkey bomb. The gorilla gets tied on the sacrifice. All 99 curb stomp the gorilla. Gets tired on the sacrifice. As in, I'm confused. Monkey bomb implies that you're like strapping a grenade to the person and like sending them in 1v1 the gorilla. Okay, we want lighter green up the top right. We also don't want it to be as vibrant. We want to take the vibrancy out because if the background is super vibrant, then it means the background's going to pop, which is not really what we want. We want Dave to pop against the background. So if we take out some of the vibrancy, add in like a grey green. I can go in with a bit of yellow as well, just so it's not looking, because yeah, we don't want it to stand out per se, but we don't want it completely flat either. Then we may as well just have a solid color behind him. Portrait background. Yeah, it's like it's the cloud painting. It's that cloudy look. Dave references. But yeah, so as in you get one person 1v1ing the gorilla to tire them out? I'm confused. I think you have to explain a little bit more. Working with darker greens down the bottom here as well. I want to go even more neutral. The background is far too green at the moment. I can't go like full on beige given the color of the outfit that Dave is currently wearing. But we can approach it for sure. Can add in some kind of bluey greens as well, especially around Dave himself. Gives that impression that he is having an effect on the environment around him, which we want to see. And then I'll probably go in with even harsher highlights as well to kind of pop him forward a wee bit more as well. Fourteen's not bad. 14's not bad at all. How you doing, Bob? You had a problem the other day. Kingdom of Gar wants the orcs to dig. The orcs want to dig for treasure. The orcs don't want to dig for treasure that can't be destroyed. The orcs now want to dig for treasure that can't be destroyed? I'm confused. Don't want. Right. Orcish villages have no defense from Orcish raiders. What they do have is scorched earth policy. Yep. What we spoke about previously. Where if they anticipate that a raid is coming, the wardens will like destroy the village and then they move on. Pay raiders tribute, and if the raiders demand too much, they burn everything. Yeah, okay, yeah. If you have non-destructible treasure, right. Because then their threat doesn't mean anything, because they can destroy everything, but then the treasure's going to stick around through that destruction process. I see. What is the treasure? Why does the Empire want it? And how's it indestructible? Clear glass, etched steel, and rubies. Yeah, okay. Yep. Or at the very least can still be salvaged even if warped by flames. Yeah. So it gets rid of the threat. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see the problem for them. This is all in like world building writing, right? So if you don't want that to be the case, you could just change the trajectory of things, right? Or are you intentionally introducing problems to make things develop more interestingly? Give it more sort of texture. So the Empire still really wants the orcs to dig, and they're not going to give up just because of some little cultural kerfuffle. Yeah. Okay. This could be the seeding for an orcish uprising, if you wanted to do it that way, where if they're forced to go ahead with this excavation, they could use it as like a currency to like either involve mercenaries or something to that effect. Designate certain villages as dig sites. Do not trade with other villages or with warbands for these artifacts. And if a warband takes a dig site treasure, how do they sell it? Yeah. They'd have to funnel it to another dig site, and then they'd know that they've had an influx of valuables. It's a bit strange that you now have you've sold $1 bajillion worth of product to us. That does seem mighty suspicious like. It's a tense, unstable structure, but you think it would work, at least for a few years. Most importantly, though, so it seems as though it's a powder keg situation, right? Where something could set it off, and that's kind of what you want, right? Is you want a volatile situation that could become super interesting. You want interesting interactions, actions, consequences, like big explosive story beats, that sort of thing. In some cases, quite literally. Has to be believable that it could work, that the Empire would believe the plan. Yeah. So it doesn't seem pulled out of one's behind. That's in 1 minute. Thank you, Tavern. Had to think for like 3 days straight to come up with that solution, because you knew the Empire wasn't just gonna give up on extracting artifacts from the orcs. What keeps the orcs subservient? Is it the fact that it's the wardens specifically that are being extracted from? So they're sort of a little bit more sort of culturally docile as opposed to the warbands. Not subservience. The Empire's trade the orcs want. Right, so I thought it was still the case that the Empire had strong-armed them into working for them based on the plot that had been... like the poison plot from before. Hi, Paradox. How you going? Welcome, welcome. How you been? That's right, that's the true branch. Twig. Ads, frick. Well, they did warn me. Doing well, working on a comic project called Layered Madness. Hot damn. Well, if you're going to sell me with the title, you've done it. Do you have any whips that you'd like to share? No stress if you want to keep it close to the chest, but if you do have any progress shots that you'd like to share, I'd love to see. Ads, of course. Yeah, sorry, bud. Let me know when we're back. I think we're back now. Welcome back. Sorry about ads. Just super unfortunate timing. Glad to hear you're doing well. You've sold me with the title. I'm I'm an absolute lover of nuanced storytelling, and something called layered madness speaks to that. I was saying before ads rudely interrupted that if you've got any whips that you'd like to share, progress shots, anything like that, I'd love to see. But I fully appreciate at the same time that if you wanna keep your cards close to your chest, that's all good too. Like if you haven't released anything yet, I don't want to be like, I don't want to pressure you into showing stuff if you don't want to. Whips, Bob. Whips. Red will stand out. Whips. Work. I shouldn't write it out actually because I won't be able to erase it. Work in progresses. This is not the whips and the nay-nays. No, not cool whip either. Have you been enjoying the process, Paradox? It's not your... Is it your first webcomic? Or comic project? I don't remember you working on a comic previously. I remember them being isolated like concept images that you were doing. And like illustrative pieces. I don't remember you working on a comic. Is it your first one? Maybe it's my poor memory. To be fair, incredibly poor. I've been working on Cool Whip recently. Gotten through my third can of the day. Oh, that's a lot of whipped cream. Most of your whips are focusing around the final boss core plot, so visually you can't show. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. One of the main bosses, it's called Madness. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Is it more sort of metaphorical, where these are kind of ethereal beings that occupy concepts, or is it more like demonic, where these are like literal actual beings that kind of personify these things? Simply called Madness, the primal emotion of madness. The most primal of emotion. So yeah, a little bit more ethereal. That's cool. That's cool. I love a good metaphor. Physical representation. Think the evil within, but probably not as bloody. Yeah, okay. So it literally actually exists, but also it kind of represents something. Other characters include the Avatar of Rage and said, right. So they're, yeah. Okay. They're like vestiges of the core, like of the raw thing. Well, no, because they're not like offshoot. They're the physical representation of the thing. So they're both the thing and also they're physically a thing as well. It makes sense. Maybe I haven't worded that correctly, but it makes sense in my head. I understand. What's a good example? Can I think of Dream from Sandman? Dream is literally dreams and also is a dude. The poison plot was an orc/human faction trying to build an independent nation called Jantre. Maybe not with that pronunciation. Realize that the poison plot is not a fully effective deterrent, so the Empire comes and conquers Jantre, but fails to secure the poison. Using the threat of poison, the founders of Jantre are able to negotiate the inclusion of Jantre into the Empire, with themselves as Jantre's nobility in exchange for their loyalty and destruction of poison threat. Now they have to make good and prove the orcs can be profitable citizens of the Empire, hence the trade agreement. I'm seeing it come together. Yeah, okay. The main character, whom you haven't designed yet, somehow finds themselves traveling down multiple layers of some place. Each floor/layer brings them deeper into the core character's psyche, and it gets deeper and darker and more twisted. Yes, psychological exploration of a character through literal traversal. I love it. Love it. Very Dante's Inferno. Very cool. Sorry that I'm kind of reducing your explanations down into like an example of something. I'm using examples to have it make sense in my own head. I'm not saying that it's like the same as these things. I'm making sense of it. And the only way I gosh darn know how. The general idea is that the core character, the one whose psyche you're traveling deep into, has lost their avatar of joy and has been trying to fill that void that they're feeling by bringing their imaginary friends to life. Oh, that's fun. That's cool. I mean, because they're in like a conceptual space, it makes sense that they'd be able to make constructs, right? That's cool. That's cool. A good way of them like being able to communicate with themselves in a positive way as well as the negative way. This is why I anticipated that the background would take a while, because I needed to do a bit of poking and prodding and finding out exactly what I want to do with it. However, in the desperation of filling in the otherwise sad and or angry emotion that they feel, the avatar of madness gets released and wants to cause havoc as well. And the hole can only be filled for so long without real joy. Yep. Beautiful depression allegory. Really cool. There are some twists in there that you're not saying, but that's the... Yep. Please, as I said, if you are intentionally keeping things secretive, more than fine. But thank you for sharing that. No, that's cool. It's probably not too surprising that if I were to say that a few of my pieces have been sort of depression allegories in the past as well. So I've got a soft spot for it. Like, believe it or not, these 3 pieces are to do with depression, anxiety. I know, shocking. So yeah, when it's told really well like that, I love it. I love it. You want to share the appearance of madness, as you're very proud of the design, but you're holding back? Please do. Please do. As much as you wish to show it, I wish to see it in context, like played out, you know? So yeah, please do keep it close to the chest for now. I'll enjoy it fully when it is in all of its glory. A little hint though, Madness is just a rename titling of an older OC of yours who literally just embodies that concept and just so fits the perfect role. There you go. I mean, hey, if you're not breaking any rules by doing that, if anything, it means that the character's more likely to be further developed. People do it all the time. Eiichiro Oda, the author of One Piece, has done it with a ton of his characters. He's got like a progenitor to Luffy, the main character of One Piece, in one of his older one-shots. He's got a progenitor to Zoro in one of his earlier one-shots as well. He's got like a whole concept of like piracy and pirates and stuff in an older project as well. It's fine. It just more likely to be a more fleshed out concept if you've tackled the visuals or the storytelling of the character before. And there are tons of artists who like draw up a piece or a character or something, and then they come back to it later. I think it's more than acceptable. It's really cool, if anything. I'm wanting the background to invoke like vibes about the character, who's very much so like a bright, happy dude who often chills in like forested environments. and thinks he's a goblin. So we want like your very natural tones. We don't want it to be super eye-catchy. Basically what I said before, where if it pops too much, then the character gets lost a bit, which we are at risk of doing. Usually I'd go with neutral tones, like super duper neutral tones, like some of these portraits that I'm using as reference for the background. But unfortunately, there are already so many neutral tones in his outfit and hair accessories and stuff, so I kind of need to add a bit of a strong color and then some neutrality into it as well, on top of it all. I should try to bring more of the character's tones into the background as well, just so that the background isn't like isn't just a body of water and the character in the middle is an island. I mean, we could have that to a certain extent with his face, at least, to have that pop. But I feel that like that will just happen naturally enough. Given that the background has like a blur effect on it, kind of, with how loose it is. So bringing in some of those reds and magentas, maybe a bit more blue as well, ought to help kind of have it sink in better. Just kind of soften it a little bit, you know? Yeah, see, that's doing wonders. Simply wonderful. Because that's the thing that if it's the one lesson that I have to learn over and over and over again, it's that nothing really exists in isolation, right? When you're depicting a character in an environment, the environment has an effect on the character in terms of like light quality, color, any sort of ambient color reflecting off of it. So if a character is sitting next to like a bright red vase, that redness is going to sort of bleed into some of the character's depiction, and then the same thing with the character, right? Even though there's a bright red vase next to them, you will see some of the skin tones of the character appearing, like reflecting in the vase, because everything interacts with everything else, right? Nothing is in a vacuum. And I feel as though some of my worst pieces have been those that try to depict a character kind of in a vacuum. Not to be too self-deprecating about my work, but I feel as though it's a pretty honest assessment as to how some of those have gone in the past. Therefore, see, because like as I've started bleeding the color out into the background a little bit more, it feels more harmonious, you know. And not in a flat way, not in like a where you can't really tell the difference between the character and the background. Not really in that way. More so that the character exists and the background exists. They're both things that are real, quote unquote. I'm curious, Paradox. Is the intention to release the story in like a chapter by chapter format, or are you planning on completing it all as like an ensemble product and releasing the whole story all at one time? Ensemble implies that there are like many people in the cast. That's not what I intended. As one big self-contained product, I guess. A completed assembly. Along these same lines, I'll most likely try to inject a bit more green into the shadows. Yeah, it just looks so much better as soon as I do that. It's looking good. Okay, now I'm going. Now that I've embarked on that for a bit, back to the stubble. I mean, I say that, but I really want to work on the bone right now. Let's do that instead. Let's do that instead. I've got a reference for the shape of the bone, but the texture isn't the most accurate. So... Excellente. Found one. Looks like a femur, perhaps. Large leg bone. Lovely. The thing that immediately stands out to me is that there's quite a bit of discoloration. So let's do something about it. Here's a fun thing. If you want to make something appear to be more lifelike isn't the word. Nuanced. If you want it to feel like it doesn't exist as like this thing is the color blue. That's the one defining feature about it. If you want it to feel a little bit more complex than just that base color, there are situations where that is what you want, and if that's fine, that's fine. If that's the case, that's fine. But in those cases where you want a little bit more complexity going on, but you don't really know how to add complexity, there's something called color vibration. I know, it sounds mysterious, it sounds cool, and that's because it is. It's both of those things. It's both mysterious and cool. Now, what color vibration does is it, in a non-malicious way, tricks your brain into feeling like it can't quite pin down what color something is truly. Which is kind of how most things behave, right? Where you're looking at, I've got this. Oh. I've got this wrist bracelet, and if you have a look, it's probably difficult to tell on the camera. Probably difficult to tell, but we'll try anyway. Have a look. The stone that it's made out of. No, it's almost impossible to tell. The stone that it's made out of has like a grey, brown. Oh, you can kind of see it. Like a little bit of red, a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, kind of a little bit of white, like streaky mixture, blend, blah, 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 blah. All of the words. And the way to achieve that is by vibrating the color. I'll explain it fully when the ads have subsided. welcome back. So the way that color vibration works is you take a color. So in this case, we've got like an orange beige, right? And we go, all right, let's add complexity to this color. And so we swing the color wheel around to more of a reddish beige. So now you can see kind of that peachy tone coming through. We go, oh, all right. Well then, why don't we swing up to the yellow? So we're going from orange to yellow, applying like an orange-based beige. Sorry, like a yellowish based beige. And all of a sudden, what looked quite flat, swing even further into yellow, has a bit more nuance. It takes a while, especially depending on how subtly you're doing it. It's just layer build up. So all of a sudden these colors look more interesting than these colors over here, because that's all one tone, like one chroma, whereas this is multiple chromas stacked on top of each other. And it adds to that sense of like, this is a complex object that I'm interacting with or that I'm viewing. It's a good way of introducing energy into something as well. If you wanna show that something is quite active, it's a good way of showing like light is playing with the material that thing is made of quite a bit, and therefore it's quite difficult to settle on a particular chroma. Also, it helps to account for like motion blur and that sort of thing. It's just very good for exciting visuals. Not that I do any exciting visuals. All my things are static. It's not true. It's not true. Not all of them. Just a lot of them. And you can do the same thing with vibrancy as well. If you're looking for more nuance in the rendering and shading of an object, start playing around with more grays. Usually it's kind of as it's transitioning from bright into shadow, that's where you're going to have a lot of your grey tones present. Okay. Another thing that's helping with the contrast is textural contrast. So a lot of the line direction is horizontal, heading from left to right. So a good way of breaking up the texture a little bit is to introduce a little bit of like opposition. Chucking in the occasional horizontal vertical line to just break things up a little bit. A little bit. We're needing more contrast to BH with how small the bone is, all things considered. So I'm gonna go in with a blunt solution, and that's very, very, very bright highlight. Like that, and then introduce that to this center part of the bone as well. There we go, that's popping nicely. Like so. Adding a darker section to the bit at the top as well, just to kind of encourage the round shape of the bone. Nice bone. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate. Caveman Compliments 101. When approaching a fellow cave person, compliment them on their bones. Perhaps they are buffered to a shine. Perhaps they are a lovely shape. Perhaps they are of an exquisite animal. Nice bone to bonk on heads. True. Perhaps it's just a lovely bone to bonk on another's head. These are all viable complementary angles. How you going, Katie? How's your day been? Is bonk? See what you did there. See what you did there. Is bonkers? It do be bonkin'. I mean, it is mostly used as a hair accessory, but the potential is there. Just drawing moss on a frame. Ah, oh, excellent. How's day for you? Yeah, it's okay. Woke up in a rough state. The headache carried across from last night. But I was able to more or less vanquish it this morning. So stream was late this afternoon, which sucks, but I still managed to stream, which is a little victory in and of itself. I will take the wins. Get vanquished. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get bonked on the head, headache. 9 out of 10 doctors do not recommend bonking headaches on the head with a bone. Not the most effective panacea. The cure-all method for all
cave people. Have toothache, bunk with bone. Have headache. Bunk with bone.
Cure all. Yeah, absolutely. Cure all bonk. Yep. My goodness, it was like back in the day with leeches. Doctor, I've got a stomachache. Well, stick a leech in your stick a leech in your eye. There you go. Boom. Sorted. Doctor, it hurts even more. Help. Help. This person is clearly possessed by the devil. No cure. Doctor, we've tried bonking them on the head with a bone 19 times and it hasn't done anything. Possessed. Yeah, witches, the lot of them. Burn them. Talk about panaceas, my goodness. Burning at the stake. Works every time. Oh, yes, please. Yes. Check it out. Boom. For an art rotation. There you go. There you go. It looks like it's not being maintained. Look at, like, there are like weeds and moss. Next thing you know, there are going to be spider webs on it. Looks awful. It looks awesome. It looks awesome. Excellent job. Getting mossy in here. Yep. Heck yeah. Ooh. Awful is the perfect compliment. Yes. Yes. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there, Dave. I think the green is still too strong over on the left. I'll worry about that later, though. Bone is looking all right. Still too flat, though, for my liking. Which means more highlights. Dave's a stunner. I know. Dave, you're quite the looker. Dave, I don't mean anything by it, but you're stunningly handsome. The other day, what happened? Shadows from a lantern. Equals yell to the gods for a Harley. Oh my goodness. It's very, this isn't me being humble. This is honest to goodness, hand on heart. I just don't understand. I've heard quite a few people refer to me as being, in a matter of speaking, very good with light. I don't understand. I think I appreciate the compliment. I really do, but I still see so many problems with how I do lighting. You legit did on the lighting king night. I appreciate it, thank you. The problem is the internet exists, so I've got like absolute like gods of lighting that I see on a daily basis. So I don't have an inkling of self-awareness. That's looking a bit better. A bit more. Yeah, okay, we need to do the whole treatment, I see. Need to stop being a coward and just commit to the lighting all the way through. Yeah, there we go. I'm so I don't. This is my friend Mahali. He's an artist who, you know, works here. He doesn't talk. It's not out of rudeness. He just he's very much so taken to heart the concept of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And he hasn't said anything for the past 10 years. Cat on lap. Yes, I very close to cat on head treatment this morning that I woke up to. Close to, not quite. The bone's looking a lot better. Turns out I needed to not be a coward and just cover it in highlights. Turns out that was the solution. There we go, shebang. No talk streamer over here. True. Hi, I'm Mahali, and I'm doing the No Talk Stream Challenge. Like, comment, and subscribe. What? There we go. Look at that. Turns out contrast pretty good. Turns out contrast is pretty good. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend a contrast. A little too much. A little bit too much up here. Let's curve that back a bit. There we are. Boom. Like night and day 'twas. Any plans for today? I intend to go rock climbing after this because I need to get more fitness going on. Just in general. I've tried going to the gym. I get bored. I've tried walking. I get bored. I need something more tangible. And bouldering has, at least so far, been the scratch to itch the itch. Touch boulders. Yeah. Yep. Just moss? Ah, good plan. I'd spend a day with moss. I'd do it. I've spent a day with a lot of things, but not moss so far. Spent a day with hair, spent a day with rocks quite often, actually. Different from the bouldering rocks. Similar but different. Grass and foliage have been my best friends, but I have yet to master them. Hang out with them quite often, but not often enough, apparently. Stream some cat. You know the regular stuff? Yeah. Yep. Stream some moss. Yep. The usual. Awkward photo to the stables. Let's see it. Yes. Cat has claimed ownership. Yes. I mean, you've seen my little goblin. Whenever I stream for too long, she'll just go, all right, guess I'm hanging out here. And like sit on my arm and make it almost impossible for me to draw. Up in your nose? Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I was going to say that I almost had a wake up with cat on my face situation this morning, but it was she was curled up right next to my head. A little bit surprising, but you know, a pleasant good morning. I have yet to experience the oh my goodness, I can't breathe, there's a cat on top of me. I did have quite a bit of experience, though, with being woken up in the middle of the night by night terrors. So she's teeny tiny. She's the size of a mouse. Not actually, but sure, why not? But when she gets nightmares, she'll vibrate violently. And the downside to that is if she's on my bed, or more aptly on me when she does this, she very effectively violently shakes me awake. You have a little fluffy blanket for her on the end of your bed, folded really high, like Princess and the Pea. Oh my goodness. I've found out that she really loves one of my dressing gowns. So I've turned that into like a little nest at the end of my bed. Same thing. The poor baby, yeah. She's an anxious little one. She was a rescue, so she's grown up having to sort of fend for herself quite a bit. So it's not too shocking, but love to have her now. She is in good hands here, I'd like to think anyway. Past unknown. Yep. Shih Tzu is a baby. Yeah, I would love to own a kitten or kittens at some point, but until I move to my new place, whenever that happens. Maybe this year, maybe next. That will have to be a pie in the sky thing. Problem. No ads? Nice. So close. So close. Just around the river bend. It was a 3-second ad. Oh my goodness, what? What ads are you getting? The lowest mine go is like maybe 8 seconds. Maybe. Kid's toy, maybe? Come to Toys R Us, buy a toy, buy! It's just a split second of a kid firing a Nerf blaster and laughing, and then it's just gone. Haha! That's it. That's all looking better. Then what did I want to do? Wanted to add little holes for the leather as well. Let's do that. I can add edge highlights and stuff as well. But we'll start with just the shapes. Yeah, because even just the darker bit existing. Oh, boom! Oh, not average at all. Oh my goodness. 18. Hey, going Billy. How's your day been? Are you off work now? It's a bit early. Still work. Just stopping in to yell and say hi. Well, the yelling and the hi are both appreciated. I hope you're doing okay. Anything exciting happened today? So far? You cracked the next step in more OBS things? Nice. You've been cleaning up functions in StreamerBot and tidying up OBS dependencies, which means that it runs more smoothly. I wonder how that's going to go, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Sorry, complete tangent, but I wonder, because I'm not getting a new computer, I'm just updating parts for my current one. It just so happens that it's the majority of the parts. So it's basically like I'm getting a new computer. I'm wondering how the StreamerBot setup's going to work. Backer. Yeah. I'm hoping that covers it. But yes, I'm glad that you've cracked the case on what you want your next project to be. Made a dynamic overlay to show the health of your D&D character. Oh my goodness, yes. That's so cool. Na, 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 na. For now, it's just a dialogue box. Fair. Don't know how to use webhooks yet. I don't even know what a webhook does. It's not true, but my understanding is incredibly limited. Okay, now time to go in and add more grey to these seams. D'accord. Très bien. Boom. And then we can do similar treatment to the ones here. They don't need to be crystal clear. There we are. I mean, I technically have a PNG tuber, kind of, not really. This is kind of like a PNG tuber. I mean, but far more handsome. You know? adapt for what's needed. But I don't have it set up so that if somebody joins the call, they've got their own handsome avatar either. So kind of functional, kind of not. At least for group things. Use this for setting up Peeps PNGs. You knew the link right away. Got to get back to work. Was just a quick pit stop. David's looking great. Thank you. Still needs a bit of work, but getting there. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, Billy. Hope it goes well. You absolutely stub your toe on the way out of the tavern. And everybody, it resonates throughout the tavern as well. Like the music stops and people are like stopped mid-conversation or something. It just so happens that everything stops for a second and you just hear... Good luck, Billy. Have fun with the recovery on that. Oh, brutally stubbed toe. Full tray of ale spilled. Yeah, yep. The whole shebang. It's super awkward. Grey in at the edges of the face just to give it a softer turn. Still gonna add his daisies? Yeah, that's the plan. It ain't Dave if he ain't got his daisies. That's what they say. Need to add a little bit more texturing to the bone down the bottom there, but that's fine for now. The twigs. How long's it been? It has been the 2 hours. It's 4 o'clock now. Can I wait until 4:30? Yeah. Yeah, probably 20 minutes. Yeah, I can wait until 4:30. Reckon Dave talks like a goblin because he's raised as one. Yeah, I mean, more or less. He has his goblinisms. Think of it more as if you've seen Elf with Will Ferrell, where he talks relatively normally, but he behaves like a goblin. It's more like that. He does have big vocal cords, though. Yeah, that's the thing, right? He'll insist on crawling through tight crawl spaces. He has like impeccable knowledge when it comes to like trapping and pranking people, and like has a bit of a cheeky disposition to him. But he's like super duper kind at heart. So like where a goblin might set up a deadly pit trap, Dave might set up like a oh, it's a slime pit, ha 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 ha. You would make a best goblin of the year mug for Dave. Oh, he would appreciate it too. He'd want to share it with everyone though, would be the thing. Like, oh, I really appreciate it. But I mean, I couldn't have been the best goblin this year without the help of everybody else. He is incredibly fun to play. He's the epitome of the naive button pusher, right? Where something comes up and he goes, "Oh, what does this do?" and pushes the button. It's still 2 days away. Oh, you got this. You got this. Still 2 days away, or only 2 days away. Depends how you spin it. Same with Taiki, but she'll do something random and not helpful at all. Dave has unwittingly set off many a trap. For that exact reason. If Toki and Dave had a mission together, they'd get anything done. Well, I think you've kind of answered it in the question. They wouldn't. They would not get anything done, and they would have an absolute blast not getting anything done. I'd feel terrible for their party members. And Dave's catchphrase is, "You're either my best friend or I haven't met you yet." So He literally has the spell that nobody uses. Friends. He has the friends spell. The crossover chaos would be real true. The dysfunction, the madness, the fun. Has a homebrew one you took at level 5. Egg. Egg. DM, I am using the thing. No, don't do it. No, I'm doing it. Egg. Hello, Windows. Hi. You're trying to find it, not having luck. The spell. Oh, there you go. And she's off. Off to the races. Yeah, sure. Blah. When you cast Egg, roll a d6. 1. You summon 1d6 eggs in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you in any direction. 2. You summon 2d6 eggs that shoot in random directions I presume these are like outcome options, right? You could do one of these things. You summon 2d6 eggs that shoot in random directions from you. Roll a d8 for each egg, starting from where you are facing and going clockwise. Each creature hit with an egg takes 1d6 magic bludgeoning damage. 3. The egg you use to cast the spell hatches into 1d12 plus 2 chickens. The chickens are friendly to you and your party, but may not be given commands. However, if the number of chickens summoned is greater than 9, they are instead hostile to you. Incredible. 4. Oh, no. Okay, I see. You roll a d6 and it's one of these outcomes. Yeah. Okay. You summon 2d8 hard-boiled eggs that, when consumed, restore 2 HP. Ooh. So like an upgraded berry? Like good berry? 5. You summon 1 large egg. Roll a d6. The egg hatches a friendly beast. 1d4 eagles, giant owl, crocodile, spider swarm, 1d4 flying snakes, a giant chicken, giant eagle stats. Roll twice, ignore another 6. The effect you rolled are doubled. Oh my goodness. Hot damn. Eggs! It's the ultimate, like, chicken flavor. You had a friendly eagle for a night? He was helpful? I mean, it says that he would be, yeah. It's a bit OP, so made animals last until a long rest. That makes sense, yeah. You have to. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine having infinite animal companions is a little bit broken, and the downsides are never that bad, right? So you could just sit there casting the spell over and over and over again with how many resources, limited by how many resources you had. Then just keep trying to roll companions over and over and over again and just grow an infinite army of chickens. The DM encouraged you to take it. I would understandably say it looks like a whole lot of fun. Only have 2 spell slots. Warlock of course. Sure. Ad starts in 2 minutes. Thank you, Tavern. I appreciate. I will be snoozing you, though, for the remainder of stream, because I don't have much stream left. I've started adding in extra color into Dave, just to energize his colors a little bit more, and it's going swimmingly. So I'm going to continue doing that. It just means that there's another thing that I need to do, which sucks, but it's worth it if it works, which it does. So it is. Love the stitch. Thank you. The one downside about vibrating the colors is adds a ton more work. Adds a ton more work, but it's worth it. Which helps not make it OP. Yeah. Yep. I'm imagining like a sorcerer just spamming the spell over and over and over again. Whew. I'm going to consume sorcery points and give myself more spell slots so I can egg. Egg. Okay. Let's maximize this countdown, shall we? We're at 25 seconds. When we get to 10 seconds, I'll snooze the ads, which will give us another 5 minutes, and then I'll do the same thing. Blah, 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 blah. 13, 12, 11, 10. Okay. Snooze the ads. There we go. 5 minutes of reprieve. DM actually just made a Twitch account. Ooh. For what nefarious purpose? Who's to say? Actually, I think... Was it your chat that I was lurking in? I think I saw your DM hanging out in your chat. Mini painting and DMing, of course. Nice. Sultan? I think so. Yeah, I think I've seen Salt. I think that twig is, I mean, it's better integrated into the hair than it was previously. Downside being that it's blending in quite a bit now, but I think that's fine given how, like, where it is in the shadows and stuff. This one we can highlight a little bit better, make it pop a wee bit more. Ein bisschen. Twig, yeah. Thought it was the start of some insane highlight. I mean, what's a twig if not an insane highlight? I'll wrap my head around it in a second. 2 minutes until ads again. Thank you, Tavern. Like Dave goes to the salon. I mean, you say that. He was captured by a harem of Yuan Ti who were serving like this snake lord dude, whatever. And he spent the night like essentially getting the salon treatment, like chatting and like gossiping with them and stuff as they were like cleaning his hair and putting oils through it and stuff. It was very fun. You have a Yuan Ti as a character that you play as well? It was cute. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. One of the other party members was like, oh, Dave, you saucy bastard. And he was like, what? We can hang out and do your hair as well if you want. I just find it really funny. The idea of like a bard, you know, like a bard, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but just completely disinterested in like wooing other people. Oh, it didn't go through, did it? Frick. No, I wasn't paying attention. No! Sorry, I think ads are coming through. I was too distracted by Dave's luscious locks. ads. Hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully. Frick. You put your hair in the shower? Yes, please. Yes. What? This is a UNT? So freaking snake-coated. Excellent. So good. I like that you've gone with the UNT, but not like the full serpent treatment. So you're able to like flavor it really, really well without necessarily limiting yourself to snake anatomy. Only played her once, so art never got finished. The piss witch. My goodness. But yellow works so well color-wise. I presume she didn't manipulate urine. I love the garment in her arm. Oh my goodness, yes! I didn't even notice that she's got like hooks in her forearms to attach a cape to. That's so metal. I love it. That's so good. How do you think of that? Definitely bring her back. Yeah. Looks like a bundle of fun. You did not think you've seen it on another character. You borrowed stole the cards. Excellent. That's fine. It's not like you're selling the character, you know. It's not like you're making money off of the character's concept and stealing business from somebody else's idea. It's fine. I know of players who will actively rip off other concepts for each of their characters. They'll be like, this character is Gandalf. Straight up just Gandalf. It was cool too cool not to. Yeah, by all means. It's almost boulder time. Yeah, it is boulder time. I've pushed my time back as far as I can, but I can't do it anymore. I have to keep moving. He's looking good. The background has started. I'm not happy with it, but I've started something with the background, which is an improvement over what it was before. I've made the bone look a lot better. It's still not perfect, but we're getting there. I've also, you know what? I've made little adjustments to the face that I'm really, really, really happy with. They're subtle, but they've scratched an itch. I don't know why. I keep going back to that. I guess I'm just itchy today, I guess. So all in all, I'm really happy with the session. Like, I've made big strides in areas that I thought I was going to struggle with. which is good. The stubble on the side of the head needs to be improved. Not be improved, be finished. And I've also played around with the idea of vibrating the color of this here Dave, and what I've played around with I've really liked, so I'm probably going to continue that with the rest of him. I explained it before, so the idea of vibrating, just quick explanation, just so that I'm not saying words that mean nothing. Vibrating the color is where you take a color, say blue, and you go, all right, with this here color blue, I want to make it so that it seems more nuanced. So I'm going to add a little bit of indigo to the blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of like cyan green to the blue as well. So overall, it remains that same blue, but it seems like it has a bit more complexity going on. So I've started doing that with the face, where I've added in variations of the skin tone, and it makes the complexion feel a little bit more complex. Like there are more subtones, more like little elements to the skin that are more true to how things actually look. Like different lighting qualities does different things to how the skin looks. So therefore, like little alterations to the skin tones gives a more accurate feel. But yes, I'll be doing more of that with his complexion moving forward. But he's close to done. He's relatively close to done. There are a few things that I'm still seeing. Still need the floating daisies and stuff, but we're getting there. We're in the home stretch at this point. Mr. I know nothing. Well, don't worry about it. I still need to improve. That's the takeaway. Okay. Let's see. Is there anyone online? There's Gavatrax. Let's head over that way, methinks. Yeah. Let's see what Gavatrax is up to. Oh. He's playing Breath of the Wild at the moment. But it says he's doing art. Interesting. Correction. In his description, it says art and Breath of the Wild. Let's go check out a bit of Breath of the Wild gameplay, shall we? Go touch rocks? I shall. And it shall be grand. I'll take photos. There was like a big period of time where I hadn't gone bouldering, and I've regressed a little bit in my progress in terms of like difficulty of boulders. So I'm going to see if I can push myself back up to the level that I was at, and I'll take photos of any walls that I manage to topple over, not literally. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Quick reminder that I've got the extra stream tomorrow afternoon, where I usually only have an evening stream tomorrow. That will be with Ghoulie, so look forward to that. We'll be doing some drawing challenges and stuff. We've got the art and craft hangout on the weekend as well. Sorry, I don't have the times up for that just yet on the Discord, but they'll be soon on the Discord, so look forward to that. But yeah, quite a bit happening later in the week. Have an excellent rest of your day or night, depending on where you are, and I'll catch you around. Bye, everybody. Bye.